welcome to Focus on B, the single-part video series where I take a look at a game that might not be great for a Let's Play, at least by my standards of what would be good for a Let's Play, but it's still got a lot of qualities that I want to talk about, and this is Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, a classic example of, well, it's actually not Super Mario World 2 at all. This is just Yoshi's Island. This is its own game with its own gimmicks, its own world, own plot line. You know why they put it on there at the front of the title, right? It was because people would recognize it and it would sell better. And I mean, I guess it actually maybe didn't do as well as they were expecting because there haven't been that many Yoshi games. I mean, there's been quite a few, but I mean, compared to the mainline Mario games, yeah. Does Donkey Kong even have more games than this? Or maybe, no, actually I think we have like one or two more Yoshi games than Donkey Kong. Anyway, I just missed one of the collectibles. What kind of game is this? This is one of those weird like 2D collectathons that isn't a Metroidvania. Like that's what this is. It's a 2D collectathon that isn't focused on big open environments. It's really interesting actually how it works. You see, the way they did this is, I believe it was a very clever solution to difficulty balancing. Because just by looking at this game, with its art direction and the way it sounds, you really wouldn't think it'd be a very difficult game because, I mean, it's all, you know, crayon-y, kitty, and it's really, really good looking. This is an absolute showpiece for the Super Nintendo in terms of, like, what it can do technically. All the sprite rotation and sprite scaling in Mode 7, which is a YouTuber word for, well, I guess maybe 90s marketing term for, anytime there's anything cool looking graphically in a Super Nintendo game. But either way, this is the kind of game that balances its difficulty using a lot of inherent design choices which are they're very modular. So basically, if you want to make this game hard, easy, go for 100%. I'm not even kidding, it is the single most difficult, because every single level in this game demands what is known as a 100% run. It's not good enough to simply know where everything is and just collect it individually. Like, as you can see, right now, let's say I got all the red coins. I didn't, of course, but say I did, and I came back to the level, you know what would happen? Right there, everything just got erased. You have to get everything at once. It's like Pac-Man World 2. Oh, but we got a little bonus challenge. Let's check that out. That's really neat. Okay, this game's soundtrack is weird because it only has like 5 pieces of music, but it's all so fucking memorable that it's great, honestly. And here we have, let's see, flip cards. Okay, it's one of those. Let's see how we're gonna complete this. I guess we just yes, pick at random and hope you get. Nope. Of course, doesn't matter though because we have save states. So lives are kind of pointless. Also, this game has a native save system either way, so, you know, although this is still fairly early game, so it's not going to be too difficult. Not to mention that, I mean, screw it, okay, I didn't 100% the last level, let's see what we can do with this one, alright? Because, as I was getting at, this game, when you play through it totally normally, you know, just kind of run through the stages as you would, it's pretty much the kind of difficulty you would expect from the way that this game looks, you know? But when you go for 100%, this is just it's basically like Rayman before Rayman. It's all cutesy looking, but let me tell you, the game itself will challenge you because it's just so demanding. It's not even so much that the individual things that you have to do are challenging. If, like, you only had to get, like, just the red coins, then just finish the level with 30 star points, I guess you call them. Or, you know, you just beat the level by completing, what was it, getting all the fucking flowers. If those were all individual tasks, it would actually be fairly manageable, but because you have to do them all in one fell swoop, that's kind of what makes it, look at that, that's stretched and squashed, that looks very nice for 1995 Super Nintendo. This whole game was basically just a send-off, just a big, like, hey, look at how much we've learned since Mario World 1. And, you know, on one hand, it really kind of annoys me that, like, you know, we never really got a real Mario World 2, because Mario World definitely, while it was a very well-made game, it had so much room for expansion, you know? They could have done even more, but instead they made this, which I believe this was actually more of a response to the Donkey Kong Country games. I think, what was it, like, apparently Miyamoto was he had mixed feelings on the art direction for those games, so he decided to go for this kind of thing instead, because maybe, I don't know, but then like with Yoshi's story on N64, they kind of went the pre-rendered route anyway. Either way, well, clearly I'm not going for 100% because I just missed that, but screw it, if you've watched my Croc 1 playthrough, we're just going to try to get as much shit either way. Get that. You see, because that's basically your, yep, that's your health. And this right here, Baby Mario is an interesting little enigma, because on one hand, he makes this game fucking annoying and I hate it so much. But on the other hand, he makes this game really fun and easy and I love it so much. So basically, if you're going for 100%, it's the worst thing in the world, because once you take damage, you start to lose, you know, these points right here I'm collecting. And and there will come a point when the level is not even, you can't 100% it, you know, unless you have a reserve 100, what was it? Was it 10 or 30? Because basically what you can do is you can actually, I should have thrown that thing in there. You can keep, you can unlock one of those items in reserve, you know? You can keep it on you, and you can use it like when you know that you basically have no chance of getting them back. Can you stop knocking him out? Come on, let's get... Oh, fuck it, you know what, let's just go and get this shit right here. There you go, hit the P switch, or just any switch. Stomp down right there to get through the pipe. And here we have one of the transformations in the game, which we might be running into a little bit later, depending on for how long I play this. Yeah, cool. And Baby Mario is just kind of stuck there. So basically, what you really want to do for this section is just get the red coins, which is completely pointless because I've missed a few of them already. And as this game, with the way it works, I might as well not get any of them at this point. But I just want to showcase the fact that it rotates the sprite, and that gets my dick hard. Like, seriously, I don't know why. I just fucking love seeing sprite rotation. Sometimes I'll just make a very low-res image in Photoshop and just rotate it while it's zoomed in, because that shit is awesome. Thank you, Sonic Mania. No, okay. Sonic Mania, clearly, as you can see by this, was not the first game with sprite rotation. In fact, lots of games on the, I think the 32X had that, because, I mean, you know, the 32X was the more technically capable machine. I mean, have you seen Doom on 32X? That shit is insane. Compare like Doom on Super Nintendo. Like in my head, it's like you'd think it'd be better on Super Nintendo just by the inherent fact that the Super Nintendo was the better system, but well, apparently not. You know, sometimes the better tech actually pulls out in front. But either way, yeah, so that's the thing about this game. When you're just going through it normally without giving a shit, it's actually a super smooth, super accessible, and very fluent experience. You just kind of go through it, you know, and there's a couple design choices which I find to be, I don't know what the word for them would be, but they're fun to point out. See, Yoshi doesn't have a, come on. Yoshi doesn't have a run button. You ever noticed that? Like, normally you'd have a run button in these kind of games, right? For the 2D ones without an analog stick. But no, Yoshi just is in full swing the whole time. And, you know, I think that makes perfect sense because, oh, for fuck's sake, am I gonna die here? No. Yes, also the flutter jump makes platforming a hell of a lot less challenging inherently. It's not as overpowered as it would be in some future games. I feel like Yoshi's a bit too heavy, but I mean, look at the fucker. Of course, it would make sense for him to be a bit heavy here. But as I was saying about the run button, yeah, I mean, it was about time, really. When are you ever not holding down the run button in a 2D platformer like this? You know, I can't think of a single legitimate scenario of gameplay where you'd want to let go and be a little more precise, you know? Even in a 3D game, like the one that would be limited to a D-pad like Mario 64 DS, it's like, really, are you not gonna hold down the run button? You kind of want to do that. The only time I can think of not doing that is maybe in Super Mario 64 DS and Sonic Lost World when you're at a standstill, because for some reason both of those games do this thing where when you're holding down the run button, your character will like wind up and like, okay, I get it for Sonic Lost World because hey, it's the spin dash. Remember the not the spin dash, you fucking idiot. Remember the super peel out from Sonic CD, you know, the thing that like everyone just used instead of the spin dash because the spin dash was so fucking weird in that game until Christian Whitehead fixed it, of course. Yeah, well, you can do that in Lost World. That's cool. It's annoying though when it sometimes like kind of reacts a little unpredictably, but still. And for whatever reason, 10 years prior, the same thing. Well, sorry, 9 years prior, the same thing was possible. And I can get that melon, can't I? Yes, I can. Now I have a machine gun. Machine gun. Fucking GTA 2. That game's weird. But anyway, yeah. So it'll kind of just send you flying without you even wanting to. And it can be kind of frustrating, so that's why you'd probably not want to hold down the run button all the time in that game. But like generally, okay, yeah, you can just do that. And now I really do love games which have this kind of destruction. This must have been really cool for Super Nintendo especially, because, I mean, it's really nothing new. Even the original Super Mario Brothers had destructible blocks, you know, and like the entire level could be made up of blocks you could break. But either way, let's see what's inside here. Look at those 3D doors. Oh, wait a second, this is a minigame. Oh, come on. This is just a waste of time. I don't need this. I really don't. You know why? Because I have infinite lives. And even then, this game, as I said, isn't all that challenging on its own. So you know what I'm just going to do? Just speed it up like that. Yep. That's what we're doing. There you go. I don't care if I lose. You can't swallow those guys. I like the look on Yoshi's face sometimes when he, Yep, that's a red coin. And that's another red coin, I think. Am I actually going to try and get it? Of course I am, because I do like how his eggs can, collect stuff for you, you know? It's also really weird seeing, like, so many red coins bunched up in one place. And, you know what? Well, fuck it, let's do it just for... Yeah, okay, so basically, there's these things which just make Yoshi go insane. And it's very funny because actually, I think this exists just to showcase what the Super Nintendo could do. You know, what the fuck? Yeah, it really fucks with your controls, and that's kind of the whole point. But like it's more so just, hey, look how we can distort the environment. Although it makes me wonder as to whether or not this is purely visual or if it actually has some bearing on the collision detection. I mean, clearly it does, considering that Yoshi is moving around a little more. Either way, this should be the end. I love those really thick outlines. But you know what's really funny about this game's art direction? That as someone who played a ton of Super Mario 63 as a kid, you know, that fan game, I cannot unsee a good chunk of this game's sprites as sprites from that game. Like the coins. Look at the coins. Those are the Super Mario 63 coins in my head, you know? Or a lot of the enemies as well, like the Koopas, for example. Let's just speed this up real quick. Yeah, cool. We're not gonna... Oh, let's see if we can get anything out of this. And, ooh, that's gonna be useful. That's not gonna be so useful. That's gonna be, I think... Good. Holy shit, I've been getting some real good luck. Okay, I'm gonna jinx it now. Hold on. Do these colors mean anything? Alright, watch. And I'm gonna get a oh no, I didn't get a Kamek. Wait, do I just have to get the right colors? Or... Okay, that was... lucky as hell. I've never done something like... And I got 10 extra lives, which I'm never gonna use. I don't think I've ever gotten that kind of luck. But either way, we got our... Let's just speed this up. Yeah, look, man. I just want this shit to be done as quickly as possible because we want to get to the gameplay, don't we? And now we have some more collectibles. Look at that. It's like 3D, except it's really hard to tell exactly where Yoshi is. Like, that is a problem that a lot of Super Nintendo games had when they were trying to go for that sort of 3D look. I guess it's not so bad here. It's pretty obvious, but it's just kind of not obvious when it isn't, and then it is obvious when it is. You know, like, I genuinely have no idea exactly at what point I would stop being on that and I would fall off, to be honest. But it's not as bad as something like Donkey Kong Country, and I got a lot of shit for that on my Vivid Noise episode, but I stand by it, damn it. When you have, like, pre-rendered sprites like that, it's kind of hard to tell where you are. You know, here, the game may have a very distinct art style, but it's still a fundamentally two-dimensional game, visually. Look, everything has a thick, solid outline on it, and it's so obvious as to where everything is. I never have to worry about, oh, okay, am I gonna be, like, ever so slightly off the edge of the platform, or will I... No, here I know I am always dead on exactly where I want to be in 2D space, and that is very... Fuck you, Mario, honestly, I don't... Come on, there you go. and that is very important when it comes to, you know, figuring out where you are in 3D space, or well, I guess in 2D space, that it's, in this case, it's not trying to simulate some sort of weird aesthetic that's, and like, I don't want to sound like I hate the DKC games. I don't. I really love them, actually, and the music's really great, even though, as I stated in that video, and I don't take back a single thing I said, it can have a very dark atmosphere to it, you know, it can be kind of depressing, but that's not a bad thing, though, inherently. It really isn't. Like, I think that there's a beauty to music that just makes you really fucking sad, even though it shouldn't, you know, because too many video game songs will just be completely numb emotionally, you know, it'll just kind of be like, hey, this is music, I think. You know, whereas at least with DKC, and even, well, no, this game's soundtrack is, I don't know, like, as I said already, it doesn't have, like, a ton of variety. I do like how unexpectedly dark it can be at times. Like this piece right here is really fucking dark, and I also find the underground theme to be really catchy. It's got this really great groove going on, and, oh, okay, we got our boss, don't we? Also, why did I decide to not Let's Play this game? It seems like it would have pretty good Let's Play potential, right? Hi there, cute little Yoshi. I literally do not care. Why? Well, it's simple, because I feel that with this kind of game, not 100%ing it really would be doing it a disservice. Because you can clearly tell a lot of the difficulty balancing was centered around 100% for the inquisitive player. You know, like, obviously they understood that, hey, the art direction is real cute, maybe a kid would want to play this, generally that's how it works, so let's make it pretty easy to just play on its own. You know, just playing through this game without going for 100% is a fairly comfortable journey. But going for 100% is like when shit gets real, and I find that, you know, generally that's more entertaining. I don't know if I would personally want to watch a non-100% playthrough of this game in particular. Of a lot of other games, absolutely. Let's fast forward this. Hold on, I'll see you guys when I'm back at the boss. Okay, we're back to generally where I was before I died, because I'm absolutely terrible at every video game ever made that it doesn't have Sonic the Hedgehog in it for some reason, because I guess I'm cursed. But anyway, actually, Hollow Miami's not that hard either, to be honest. I've been playing that recently. You might have seen the Focus on B episode I did of it, and I've played quite a bit more of it. But either way, yeah, so what was I going on about 100%ing and stuff like that? Well, here's the thing, right? With these kind of games, I just feel like it wouldn't make sense for me not to 100% it, but I just don't want to 100% it. There's like a bajillion things I'd rather do than 100% Yoshi's Island, to be perfectly honest. Memorizing a bunch of arbitrary collectibles just to get like a specific number on this screen at the end, circled by a chalkboard, that doesn't sound like fun to me, especially doing it for a YouTube series, you know? Like, I kind of sort of went out of my way for... This is a really nice animation, though. Check this out. I love that background. It's all like, it's kind of 3D, but not really. So let's see what this level's got going for us. We're just going to do like maybe 1 or 2 more levels. I'm not going to arbitrarily play until the next boss. Ooh, this is a very nice looking environment, actually. There you go. These are the Koopas that I... Oh, you can't turn them into eggs. Interesting. Yeah, these are the Koopas that I associate with Super Mario 63, except they're way bigger here. Like the sprite scaling is a little different, so they look as if they're bigger relative to everything else, except like I'm sure they're the same resolution. You know, that's generally how it works. But either way, yeah, it's just I don't want to 100% this game. I would not do it on my own time, let alone for a YouTube series. Like with Croc, for example, I actually did kind of do some stages 100% because I felt like with that game it was just a straight up insult, you know, to not 100% certain stages. That game is so ridiculously non-challenging when played normally. This game still kind of offers a challenge, but it's still not enough to warrant a full any percent playthrough. I don't think that would be very entertaining to make. Also, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. Why am I here? Am I even supposed to be here? What is the point of this section of level design? I'm assuming it's to get some more red coins, but what I'm gonna, in my head, this section of level design is a big waste of time. I'm just going to keep going through these Tetris blocks because every time you see an arrangement of shapes in a video game, you must say this is Tetris. But I do love the way the pipes look, though. Very crayon, very nice. And there's Poochie, who I think is that dog for that one annoying-ass lava level, except he can run through enemies, which is really great. So just got to make sure we don't fall off of him, right? Come on, there you go, jump, Poochie. And we got a key, so I'm guessing now we have to ride him back, right? Come on, Poochie. There you go. But yeah. And it's not even so much that it sucks that you have to get all of these things and remember where they are, because that's par for the course. It's the fact that you have to do it all in one run. So basically every single part would require me to like do some Mega Man level practice, you know, like for my Mega Man 11 playthrough, and I still sucked ass in that game, but I sucked less than if I hadn't practiced, because I did practice a lot every single stage, you know, like 5 times before I'd record. There's the Tetris part, right? Except here, you know, this doesn't make sense for me. This isn't the kind of game you'd expect to have to practice. And I don't know, I'm just not interested enough. I feel like I would probably just want to stop playing. But I definitely do like this game enough to, as you can see, I'm dedicating over 20 minutes now of my time to play it and talk about it, because I do think it's very clever. The fact that the developers were fully aware that there's 2 very different audiences that would want to play this. The guys who are just like really into just platformers, and hey mommy, look, this game looks cute, I want to play, and I'm fucking dead now, right? Yeah, of course I'm dead. Okay, let's speed that up. Middle ring, blah blah, go over here, jump up, and it's into this section again. Let's speed that up. There you go, unapologetically speeding the game footage, which does not look good, but it kind of actually doesn't make a fucking difference. At least I'm not pitch shifting the freaking audio, which is actually kind of funny sometimes. There's this thing that some YouTubers do where, well, they used to do it, they don't do it so much anymore. Like Christopher Odd, I think, used to do it, where they would just speed up certain sections. I don't know about that, to be honest. It can be kind of tacky. I mean, I've done it too, but I only like 1 or 2 parts of particular playthroughs. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, so with the way that the damage points work in this game, you're practically invincible. You know, like Yoshi can't die. I mean, he can die, as I just proved, but he can't, a video game character, die, you know? Like get bumped into too many times. Those flowers look like they belong to a different game, to be honest. Like yeah, those flowers look like they're part of the art direction. Not the other ones, their outlines aren't thick enough. But anyway, so what they've done is they've made it so easy to play through the game normally, and yet very, very challenging when you want to go for everything. And, oh, for fuck's sake, there you go. And that's actually a really clever design tactic, because you get to choose your difficulty on the fly. Like, as you're playing the game, you just decide, do I want this shit to be really hard or not? What's gonna happen when I go into here? Oh, balloon popping. So I'm guessing I have to go in and just stomp all of these balloons, right? Yeah, cool. See, Yoshi is practically a tank. You know, he can't die. And it's actually funny, because in Return to Castle Wolfenstein, which I've officially decided to not Let's Play, there's a mission where you have to defend a tank, and that fucker just gets himself killed ridiculously easily. Alright, let's do one more level and call it a day. So, what do I think of this game as a whole? Because that is very relevant, and everyone cares about my opinion. No, see, when you say something jokingly, but then like some people will actually take it seriously because they're idiots. But either way, yeah, what do I think? Well, it's stupid as fuck that they call it the way that they did, because it's not actually Mario World 2, but because it's named that, now in my head it's like, yes, this is the sequel, even though it has nothing to do with it, because I take the developer's word for granted every single time for some reason. But it's a very, very beautiful, polished little game. It's not a little game, actually. It's a very, quite a large title for the Super Nintendo. I mean, I haven't checked the file size. Not like it really matters that much, but the point is, it's a very ambitious game. It's got so many levels, so much content, and different ways to enjoy that content, you know? And I can't do anything about this. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to... Damn it. See, because on one hand, Baby Mario is like the worst fucking thing ever, but he's also great. Think about it, because he makes the game annoyingly difficult and piss easy at the same time. because if it weren't for him, Yoshi would probably have a typical health point system, so you would die super easily like in every other game. Due to cheap bullshit, but instead, look at this, I can take as many fucking hits as I want and I'll never die, as long as that timer doesn't hit 0 and it recharges, right? But on the other hand, it's annoying because we want to 100% percent this game. It's like you have to make sure you never get hit ever, or you happen to have those 10, I think I do, yeah, I do have one of them on hand. That's good, so I could keep my timer at least, like, what, 50, no, it would have to be at least 20, and then I would be able to, you know, use that at the end and get it to 30. So where are we going now? Ooh, stairs. The way Yoshi walks on stairs is so weird. Why do I feel like we're not actually supposed to go here? Like it's one of those, no, you're like a bait moment in the game. You know what? Hold on, let me try something. Aha. And now we're gonna get the star. And now we can go this way, of course. And we have the Starman theme, which, I've always loved the different arrangements of the Starman theme in different Mario games. It's always been one of my favorite compositions, you know, ever since it debuted. But I think this was the first time they ever had the melody, you know, do 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 do, you know, the melody that comes in. It's such a great melody because of the tension notes that it uses. Like it lands on these odd notes that really don't make sense to typically end on. But when you do, it sounds really cool because of the way the arrangement works, you know, with the chords underneath. And that is something that I find very, very fun. Are you gonna do it? Oh, you dick. You had one job. Fuck it. Okay, let's just keep going. This might be the end of the level approaching. Let's see. Oh, it's the bit with the ice melon. You know what that means? We get to freeze dudes. Watch. Spit. There you go. Now we're Sub-Zero, but it's Yoshi instead. So it would have been actually interesting if each Yoshi had different abilities depending on his color, but then it might have been, well, no, because it's not randomized, is it? I'm not sure. Is it actually randomized, or is it the exact same Yoshi every time? Because if it's the exact same, then they can just design the levels around that, you know? Huh, man, it's always fun, like, thinking about, like, when developers have to accommodate for changing properties of this kind, you know, like how I always wondered when Sonic Forces was coming out, when it was gonna come out, how are they gonna do the avatar stages? Because the avatar can have different abilities, and you know what they did? They just made them so fucking easy to pass with like any of the abilities that, you know, it's all kind of superfluous. They never really specialized in one particular ability. Although to be fair, again, that would have made the game unplayable using a particular whisk bomb, whatever. You know, I wonder if there's any mods for that game which actually do take advantage of one. They're centered around one particular whisk bomb compared to, you know, just being able to be beaten generically with just anything. I don't know what the fuck to do about this. Well, I mean, I know I have to kill him, obviously, but let's just keep moving through the stage and get to the end because I love the rotation on. Look at this. That looks cool. All right. I don't know why, but seeing low-res images like that, you know, sprites rotate and distort, it's just, and that transition is always nice to see, honestly. Ooh, I know what we got to do here. You know what we have to do? We have to get an egg and ricochet it, and then, and we're ignoring all of that. I love how he runs like classic Sonic, actually. Look at that. Come on, let's just get over here, you fuck. Why do you have a skull on your head? Let's actually see what happens if we go over here, alright? We've gone way over time, but fuck it. Let's see what happens if I maybe do this. Let's go over here and like that. Yep, I knew it. We get the mole ability, so let's go ahead and use that. And kind of dig our way through, because seeing terrain get like modified in real time like this is kind of cool on Super Nintendo, to be honest. It's really annoying when you look at a coin and like you're convinced that it's one of the red coins, but it's not. You know, that was a red coin, but it looked no different. Sometimes they do genuinely look the same. In the GBA version, they are all just straight up the same, which, I don't know, was that like really that much of a technical limitation? It seems more like just a dick move on the developer's part. You know, I know the GBA's color palette, I guess, might not be quite as... Yeah, I can tell that's a red coin. I'm not going to bother getting it. Let's just get to the fucking end of the level, honestly. Because I am getting a little bit tired of this, to be honest. That's the thing. See, if this kind of thing happens during a Focus on B, I know that I would not want to do a full playthrough of the game. Like, it's got to have lasting appeal for me. This has... this is really cute and very technically impressive for the Super Nintendo appeal. But not necessarily like I want to keep playing this for 10 parts or so, you know? that's like the whole point of Focus on B. It's just like, hey, this is a game I like, kind of bit, exists maybe, and then like let's play for like maybe a 30 or so 40 minutes. Fuck this, let's just get out of here. Although I'm not sure about that transition every time you... No, spit me out, you fuck. Alright, come on, is this the end of the level? Yes, it is. So, with that conclusion of my thoughts and train of thinking human brain, I think, this has been Focus on B, the single-part video series where I take a look at a game that I would not want to let's play, but I still wanted to talk about it for, I guess, yeah, 41 or so minutes. This has been Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World 2. I'll see you guys next time.